Part 21, the horrible demise of my marriage and how my husband had an affair with our marriage coach.
So guys, it turns out that I was absolutely wrong when it came to this situation. This is the woman who says that their marriage coach, her and her husband's marriage coach, got involved with her husband, right? Clap the cheeks is what I titled the last video, but it turns out I was wrong. And someone is owed an apology. And it's not her, right? Because the situation is worse than we thought. What am I talking about? You're not going to believe what you're about to hear. Let's keep listening.
This woman who I thought was my friend, but he had ultimately chosen her happiness and had been more considerate and sensitive to her and her needs than he had to me.
Okay, let's get to the point.
Which is a huge betrayal. And I don't think anything physical ever happened between them.
This coffee smells like shit.
This coffee truly smells like shit. So you're telling me, bro. By the way, this is part 21. I skipped to part 14 and I thought I went straight to the whole point of this whole story of how did your husband have an affair with you guys as marriage coach. And it turns out that she has no proof that he actually cheated. And she confirms that she doesn't think anything physical happened as far as sexually. It was an emotional affair. Now, you might be wondering, how did you find out? I had a subscriber hit me up who said, damn it, man, you made me go watch this sludge. And guess what? He never cheated. It's the laughing emoji. So shout out to my subs, man. If you're not subscribed, because so many people watch my channel and they don't know that they're not subscribed just because it's really not that important when it comes to the YouTube algorithm. But check and hit that subscribe button if you too are blown away by this. And make sure you're subscribed if you've been watching for a bit, right? Just make sure you'd be surprised. Goes on to say part 21, 40 seconds in, this was all bull. P.S. All comments are positive for her. She's on her channel like a hawk, taking down and blocking people who criticize her. I can't believe this. What a piece of work. Listen, and everybody who came on here and was like, oh, I think you're being a little bit too harsh. Most people saw where I was coming from. Most of you guys understood. You're like, yeah, this sounds tough. Here you are, you have this man who's providing, right? He's exiting out of a business and he's providing nannies. It sounds like she's a stay-at-home mom and he's employing multiple people around him. The dude sounds loaded. And she sounds like she had one job, which is to take care of the kids, a very important job. We don't want to minimize that at all, but let's be real here. There was no talk about him cheating over and over again. She was not letting this man sleep with his wife. And then we thought that this whole affair with their marriage coach was him actually clapping the cheeks. But it turns out this was some type of emotional affair. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And you know what? I don't doubt that she's on TikTok blocking men who are disagreeing or who can see through her BS because society allows for a one-way expression when it comes to these type of topics. If you're a man who has a contrary opinion when it comes to a particular topic, especially if you drink coffee, then they are coming for you. They think you're toxic. Oh, so you think emotional cheating isn't real? No, the way this whole thing was framed was BS. So again, there's an apology here to be made because even in my video, I thought, all right, he cheated. It was confirmed, so on and so forth. But it turns out, no, there's no confirmation of actual physical cheating. And it makes sense why she can't expose the marriage coach and who they are. People were demanding for licenses to be taken away when, I don't think they even were licensed because, it just doesn't work that way with online coaching, so on and so forth. Insane.
The betrayal that I did experience was so much more hurtful than a scenario where my husband would have been drunk in a bar and hooked up with someone that he had just met that night.
That's not true. That's just not true. This is cope, and you can try to find out ways to use your mental gymnastics to act like if he went to a club and actually smashed some chick, very attractive woman at a club, it would be less hurtful. I promise you that would probably hurt just as much, if not more. This is a complete cope. I don't know how long I can actually listen to this, by the way, guys.
The fact that I had a front row seat to this relationship and that it was being thrown in my face constantly by both of them. Like, there were times where I would get in an argument with my husband and I would call this woman sobbing because she knew both of us and I was confiding in her. And, I was betrayed by two people, the two people closest to me. And, it was just, I think it was honestly the most hurtful, painful thing that I have ever had to go through in my adult life.
Oh my goodness.
I don't wish it on anyone. And I'm still processing it. I'm still unpacking it.
This woman, this is the most privileged. This most privileged. This man is providing a lifestyle that we see modern women panhandling and beg for on a constant basis. They don't want to go 50-50. Here you are, you have a man who's paying for everything, taking care of you. She's like, I wouldn't wish this on anybody. Are you serious? Are you serious? Come on. Keep in mind that up until now, he's been dealing with this for a very long time and still hasn't gotten any cheeks yet.
Many hours later.
And he puts a spreadsheet in front of me and a letter. And this printed letter outlines how he's breaking up with me and he wants a divorce. And I think that's quite possibly the most insulting thing that I have ever experienced in my life. And it's really hard to live with. And that brings us to where we're at now.
Oh, I can't. So long story short, guys, listen, he asked for a divorce through a letter and she was devastated, so on and so forth. And here's the thing, even though I often say that most people give up a lot easier than they should on their families, but I definitely have been very obvious in saying that there are good reasons to divorce. I mean, anybody can leave at any time, right? Encouraging people to commit to their vows is very important. But there's a lot of ridiculous things that happen. For example, the last dude who cheated on his wife and got like some 19-year-old pregnant, that's a situation. I'm like, yo, you're having kids outside of wedlock, so on and so forth. I think at that point, you've done really serious damage and, someone has the right to leave for sure. And I think most people would understand. In this situation, the fact that this man has been going through this and is being accused of having an affair with his marriage coach when nothing actually happened, to me is insane. And I could see how he's looking at her saying, she's using all these buzzwords, tell highly modern woman minded. Man's been stressed out. It makes sense. And don't forget that she came online and told her story to the whole world, knowing that this could possibly go viral. Her kids could see this. Her husband and people that know him will see this. All this was done in hopes that she would gain some understanding or sympathy. Even that in itself is a giant red flag.
I got shamed by a group of my students last week. I was extremely emotional and I actually had to take about 15 minutes to go cry in the bathroom because I was so disgusted and upset by their behavior.
All right, what do you guys think of this? This teacher says that she got shamed. So we're talking about SLUT, shamed by teenage boys at the school where she teaches because of something that she was wearing. There's something that needs to be observed about the way that she's talking about this particular situation that I think most of you guys might have an issue with. I definitely did. Let's keep listening.
They're probably between ages 13 and 15. They're freshmen. And this girl comes up to me and she goes, hey, just so you know, they're saying that your outfit is not appropriate and talking about your. I look at them and I'm like, are you actually saying that right now? Are you serious? And they were like, no, we weren't. But they were like laughing. I'm not going to infantilize them and say that they shouldn't know, because they should. They're 14. But the worst part is the school didn't suspend them or reprimand them in any way, because I think that behavior is like so normalized and it's dismissed as boys will be boys. But it was incredibly degrading and dehumanizing because I was just wearing pants that fit my body.
All right, so you guys heard it for yourself. This teacher's like, these young teenage boys were looking at my outfit and they were saying, hey, her outfit's inappropriate. Her cheeks were showing, so on and so forth, right? A very inappropriate, awkward conversation to have with what are young teenage boys. Here's my issue with this thing, because here's what's surprising. I actually do think that a young man should know not to, like there's a way to talk to adults. I do think there's a way to approach this whole particular situation. Here's the thing though. This top comment here made me realize that she just doesn't like men in general and probably wouldn't hold women, if they did something of the equivalent, or young girls, to that same exact standard. Never mind that if you go on her page and you check out her bio here, you have queer, leftist, feminist, and all type of woke and highly liberal tags here. And so it makes sense that she's highly that she got shamed for her outfit. Was her outfit inappropriate? If it was highly inappropriate, then it should be expected that somebody's going to say something. If it wasn't and they were just acting up, then, a stern talking to, hey, don't talk about an adult woman's behind like that. It's inappropriate. Okay, cool, move on. Here's my problem. Top comment here reads, I hate teenage boys. Here's what's going to surprise you. She liked this comment. I know you can't see that she liked this comment, but she liked this comment. Chisha, why should we take your word for it? You don't have to. Let's check out the replies. Someone responded back and says, I wish we as a society would make an effort to educate them so this doesn't happen, at least their parents or something. Okay, never mind that. That's not what we're talking about. How does this prove that she liked this comment of I hate teenage boys? As a teacher, this person here says her liking this comment about her students is crazy though. She should not be teaching if this is how she feels about them. And so you might be confused. What happened to the like? She unliked it. She unliked it as soon as people started calling this out. And now I have issues, right? I do not want, or I wouldn't want, some extreme, far left feminist woman teaching my sons, who I know is online, liking comments like, I hate teenage boys. Like she liked this comment, I hate teenage boys. Let's check out the rest of this thread. This guy goes on to say, but if a male teacher was liking comments saying he hates teenage girls, then it would be a problem. Think of a male teacher who's working at a school who's liking comments saying, I hate teenage girls. That would be a serious problem. I've always said, man, that as much as people may disagree with what I may think, or what men who maybe value certain traditional dynamics within relationships, or when it comes to social issues in society, though we may differ, one thing you'll never hear me say is I hate anybody, or insert anybody who you think I hate, because I really do not. I really don't. I don't have that type of hatred for other people. Why? Because I'm living my life. I'm grateful, and my beliefs and the things I value don't come from a place of hate. But we often allow this type of rhetoric of hatred. And how do you think these boys feel being raised up in schools where they're made to feel like they are the problem for just being men? They want to turn these men into male feminists, Wachicha, how do you know? Check out this other video, because if you go on her page, here she is talking about how men should embrace feminism, right? Let me see what else people said here. Oh, please, she can feel some type of way. Oh, wow, look at this. So here are women who are actually supporting that whole I hate teenage boys. Wow, this is crazy. There's so many statistics that prove why this isn't the same. Let's see. Yeah, except most teenage girls aren't SLUT shaming. I mean, it's on the screen. I don't even know at this point. They're female teachers, are they? Or they're male teachers, right? So they don't care. They do not care. This next commenter says, if he hated female students because they sexualized and shamed him, then that wouldn't be unreasonable. So they actually support hate. This is what these 55 people who liked the fact that this female teacher liked that comment of I hate teenage boys, which is a general statement. They're like, yeah, if you can justify hate, then it's okay to hate other people. Incredible. He goes on to say your first instinct is to generalize and hate an entire group of people. They're kids. Somebody else who says, yes, feminists have been trying to get men to do this for years. In parentheses, they're the ones with the majority of social influence and therefore are the only ones who can do it. And yet, all right, let's see. Wow. This is crazy. And so this is how society loses young boys. Like if you're wondering, young boys who will soon become men, how do you lose them? You lose them by demonizing them, painting them as villains, hating their masculinity. And don't get it twisted. These young men end up realizing, and they know that you are some type of a feminist. They see your account probably. Shoot. And they will grow up saying, you know what? That woman had a problem with men. And you wonder why a lot of these Gen Z young men lean towards more conservative values. It's because of chicks like this.
If men would actually listen to us, you guys would realize that feminism also benefits you because of how much you hate us. It genuinely interferes with your ability to listen to our arguments. Feminism at its core is about dismantling existing structures that harm women. Also, on the flip side, it's about intersectionality. We don't like toxic masculinity. We don't like the fact that, yeah, men can't cry, that you guys are taught that from a young age because that's what leads to suicide, ideation, and potentially violence as you get older. We don't think that's okay either. Yes, we care about your mental health. So maybe listen to our conversations instead of just immediately getting defensive. It's not personal.
It's not personal. Yeah. Insane, man. Again, you have 200 plus comments right here of people defending this woman for saying she hates teenage boys, right? And this is why you the feminist movement, modern feminist movement in specific, will get nowhere because they believe this is how you get things done, using hate. So yeah, I'm looking at all these comments. These people are defending. They're defending the hate. Unbelievable. Moving on.
This man was unalived on his birthday after he accused another man of staring at his girlfriend too hard. February 3rd, 2025, Anthony Souvenir here, aka Big Fetty, his girlfriend and their baby walked into a Walgreens when they noticed another man standing at the register. This man, right, Jamie Taylor, was there loading money on his Cash App card when the family walked in. Anthony saw him looking, so he yelled out, "Hey bro, you staring at her too hard," which they had words, but it kind of died down. When Anthony walked away from the situation, he thought he overheard Jamie saying something to him, so he responded to it. Jamie tells him like, "Hey bro, I'm not talking to you, I'm on the phone actually." But the argument picks up from there. Anthony then tells Jamie like, "Hey bro, I see you got one, I got one too," referring to his weapon that he could see on Jamie's waistband because that's where it was. At that point, Jamie actually put his hand on his weapon, but he didn't aim it at anybody. And when Jamie took his weapon out of his waistband, that's when Anthony started to reach for his bag. That's when Jamie fired the weapon, striking Anthony. And Anthony was able to chase him just for a little bit before he collapsed inside of the Walgreens, and he was later pronounced deceased.
Just like that. That's what his whole life amounted to. just like that, crashing out over coochie. You know, if it's something where you're risking your life to protect those who you love, not in the streets, I mean those who you love in your family, then society looks at that and says, you know what? That's inspiring. Your children will look at that and say, you know what? That's inspiring. This to be your legacy. Maybe you might have some kids. Imagine hearing that as a young child. Like, how did your father pass away, and having to tell this story? People need to do better.
Jamie did flee the scene before police got there, but later returned and turned himself in, actually. Jamie is incarcerated and facing a second-degree unalive charge, and he is being held without bond. This man really lost his life on his birthday over nonsense. May he rest in peace. And this is his last post on social media, posted on his birthday with the caption saying, "Life is too short not to smile." Y'all be easy out here.
Wow. Wow. Let's read a few of these comments. Top comment here says, passed over some sucker shit. Insecure goofball. This is true. The more insecure you are, and the less you're able to control your emotions, the more you can look forward to a lot of these situations. You know, this is just insane. Brawl goofball, this commenter says he brought that on himself. I believe that's supposed to say. Crashing out on someone looking. Here's another comment that says, sounds like self-defense if that's actually how it went down. It depends on the state you're in, right? There's a lot. Somebody else here says, even if he was staring, so what? You have to learn how to, so pride will have you losing your life. Pride will have you losing opportunities. There are some situations you just have to let someone have it, because you realize that that person really has not much or anything to live for at all. This is definitely one of those situations for sure. Right?
Dog got smoked on his birthday over a because a looked at his 3 seconds too long, trying to be tough. You in the ground and yo to jump on a new dick next month.
That's true. That's very, very true. Yeah. Incredible. I saw another post that I don't know if I can bring it up here. Sometimes I wonder, man, how many guys who were locked up over a woman of some sort because of their inability to be able to control their own emotions. And this is why I'll never give the advice to a man who's dealing with some crazy chick to retaliate physically, unless if it's a life or death situation. I always think just separate yourself from that situation. Understand earlier on the type of woman you're dealing with, and don't involve yourself, and don't let go of the pride. But that lack of emotional intelligence, and a lot of dudes out here are just ready to crash out over a woman. Insane. Literally insane.
People always tell me I'm bugging for what I'm about to say, but I'm not staying in a relationship with a man if the sex is bad. If the first time we do it is bad, I'm leaving you. There's no second chance. It's no redeem yourself. It's no, oh, it was the first time. It's none of that. Second, there are a lot of things that I'm not teaching you. If you don't come over here knowing that, it's just, you're asked out. I'm going to go to where they know it at. I stayed in, don't say that. Yeah. People always.
So she said, if you don't know how to hit it right, if you don't know how to clap the cheeks right, not only is she going to leave you, I think that she will also cheat on whoever she's with if she believes that is like the number one most important thing when it comes to the man who she wants to be with. Unfortunately, this chick has nothing to worry about, because from what it sounds like, she does not have the mindset of a woman who's ready to be a wife for a long-term relationship that she wants, by the way. She thinks like a 304. And in some ways, you could actually say you appreciate the honesty, because a lot of chicks do move like this, but will never actually voice that out. They'll say things like, oh, we don't want male 304s. Yes, you do. Most of you do. Because that's the dude, that's the guy who knows how to put it down right. Now, you can argue about what qualifies as a male 304. You can argue about, oh, there's no such thing. But the bottom line here is there are men out here, and it makes sense why they end up picking these men who the best thing they bring to the table is D, and it drives these women crazy. Why is that the best thing a lot of these men bring, and there are other men who may be a better option for a long-term healthy relationship, but D isn't the number one thing they're bringing to the relationship? Well, because you have one group of men who spends a lot of time on their purpose, right? They have other things in their life that's outside of just seeing how many women they can sleep with. And then you have a group of men who that's pretty much what they do. We all know somebody who lives that life, or maybe you at one point lived that life for a short period of time. And listen, sex to an extent, though it is a mental thing, like largely how you view that man, so on and so forth, there's still something about a guy who spends most of his time just focused on seeing how many chicks he can knock down, that he will become good at that. And then when you run into him, you're like, oh, this is my husband. And now you want him to stop doing the thing that he's great at. So let's check out a few of these comments. Top comment here says, so it should be the same for men. Then all y'all box ain't no mother effing goat. So this commenter is saying, so men should have the same standard, right? Are they allowed to have the same standard? If the cheeks are whack, should he just cut you off as a potential for a relationship? This is what she had to say.
Here's the thing. I don't care what this feels like for the man. I don't care. I don't care what my coochie feels like for him. I'm not concerned with what's going on with him at all. I'm here for me and me only.
The mindset of a modern woman who doesn't realize there's a lot of pain in her near future. She's there for her only. She's just there for her nut, no one else. She doesn't care how about your sexual gratification as a man. Oh man. And then when men sit there and you come back crying on the coffee pod, all of a sudden we're the bad people, right? We're the bad guys.
If I have a good time, you'll have a good time. If I don't have a good time, nobody's having a good time. The only person's pleasure I'm concerned about in this situation is mine. Once I feel like you know what's going on and you can pleasure me however I want you to, then maybe I'll consider doing something for you. But until then, I'm here for me and me only.
It's a type of toxic mindset.
I don't care what it feels like to you. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. Bye. Straight women literally have an 11% chance of having an orgasm one day with a man. Why would I care how it goes for him?
So I'm back here at this other video, the first one. We're going to read a few more comments. This next comment says, I respect his sister. I be giving 2 chances though. Here's somebody else who says, sister, I literally cut off the perfect man for this. Oh my goodness. It's just too easy, bro. It's too easy. She cut off the perfect man for this. Why? Because he maybe wasn't big enough, or he didn't come experienced enough, because you don't want to work on your sexual attraction. Here's what you should know, right? And most people who understand this know this. Sexual attraction is highly mental. If you don't have like an extreme deficiency or, in a certain department, it's largely mental. What does that mean? Perception can really enhance sexual attraction, or it can really dead it off and kill it, especially for women. Right? So you have guys who will be attractive and all of a sudden they'll talk their way out of the cheeks. You see this all the time, and you've probably seen guys who may not be considered good looking in general, but they know how to talk to women. They know how to escalate sexual tension and attraction to the point where women are attracted to them. Where am I getting at? If it's a mental thing and you're in a relationship, you have to realize that like at some point you will wake up and your mental will shift. If you plan to have a long lasting, like something that's going to actually last a long time, you're not going to feel the exact same way. One day you may wake up and your mental will switch. Why am I saying this? Well, because you're going to have to somehow learn how to fix that problem. So In other words, if you've met a perfect guy, and no, I'm not saying that you have absolutely no sexual attraction, no, but if he just lacks experience and that's the thing, but you think he is attractive, right, from a woman's perspective, then that's something you can work on. That's something you can work on. But no one has these conversations, right? This is like real relationship stuff. It's boring. They want to run the streets and take D. The next commenter says, damn, you strict. Everyone should get at least 3 tries. Let's see. I got to test drive the car before I purchase. This is her. Let's just start putting these women on.
People always tell me I'm bugging for what I'm about to say, but I'm not saying that.
We already heard what you had to say, man. Let's see. I give second chances. Maybe he was nervous, but after that, this is true, man. I mean, there's just so many situations when you're a dude who that can throw things off. You know, unless if then you have the type of guys who they're ready to go, at no matter what, and no matter what she looks like too. For usually that type of dude, he doesn't care. Let's see. Swear I can't do it. Damn, girl, OMG. I just left this man I was dating, and I felt so bad because he was so sweet, but it just wasn't hitting. Crazy thing is, I gave him 3 chances. 3, and he has kids, so I'm confused. So you think someone who doesn't know how to smash you right can't have kids? This chick looks pretty young. So you're just out here, huh? I know. You're like, she should stop. You know who else we need to where's the other one, that other comment? The one that said I let go the perfect guy for this. I just can't do it. 32. Brother, I can't teach you, and also don't be freaked out. Have a balanced man. So she's like, I can't teach you. Yeah. You know, I saw another video that was crazy too, but it was this dude giving women advice. I thought to myself, you know, this sounds like the type of advice you'd give to men, grown men. He's basically trying to tell them to close their legs, right? But they were acting like it was so profound. I said, wow, what a day we live in where these chicks are like, wow. Check this out.
Okay, just keep your legs closed.
Wow.
If you keep your legs closed, then you get the control back. Reason why you've lost your control is because you got your legs wide open. You're giving them the upper hand because why? You compromised. And so you think that your sex gonna move him. Your sex ain't gonna move him.
Yeah.
Your self-respect gonna move him.
My God, that's a word, sir. That's a word.
Doesn't make any sense. So he gonna respect you on a whole nother level when you say, man, we might.
The female audience is like, interesting strategy. Keep my legs closed.
Not make it to the end. This may be the last day you call me. But guess what? My legs closed.
My God.
I bet she can't put his mouth on you. I bet she can't talk about you.
My God.
I bet you what he will say to somebody. One thing about her, she ain't nothing to play with.
Right.
She know who she is.
Right.
So at that point, another man of wisdom gonna say, oh, I like that type of woman. Because you didn't fit for him down here, but you fit for him up here.
That's good.
So you can't say what he's not doing when you compromising.
That's so good.
You gotta stop compromising.
Yeah.
You got more power than you think you have. Right? But because of low self-esteem, because of low self-belief, because of low self-assurance and desperation, it'll make you lower your standard.
So listen, sometimes I'm like, it's not self-esteem. They're just 304s, man. They love D. Can we just keep it real? They love it. They're obsessed. These chicks have just become addicted to D. People don't want to say that uncomfortable thing. A generation of chicks who just love sexual partners. They're become the men who they complain about. Listen, as always, I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of the Coffee Pod. To my soon-to-be married and currently engaged men, head over to fathershaverights.com and get the #1 guide to drafting a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement. Appreciate you all. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.